é? Em português ou no universo?
Já estamos.
Ok.
People are coming in. Okay, it just takes a bit.
Okay.
We're already on YouTube as well.
Okay. So good morning, everybody. Thanks for coming in. We are just letting people coming in. I'm sorry for this small technical delay. We'll just give some minutes so people can come in. And we are also in the Instituto Superior de Agronomia YouTube channel. So also all the people that are watching us on that side, welcome. Okay, people coming in. Okay. Sorry, okay. José Miguel will join us in a minute, but okay, I think we can start. So good morning, everybody. Good morning to all of you. So let me start by giving my warmest greetings to Professor João Santos Pereira, that is here with us, and to Professor Manuela Chaves. Thanks to them to have joined us in this very special session. I also want to thank to Professor Helena Freitas that is here, José Miguel Cardoso Pereira that will join us in a minute, and also Professor Jorge Marques da Silva for being here and accepting to contribute to this session. So this session is a part of the 15th Portuguese-Spanish Plant-Water Relations Symposium, where the Portuguese Society of Plant Biology, but also joined by the Center of Forest Research and Instituto Superior de Agronomia, is attributing a career award to Professor João Santos Pereira for his outstanding research in forest ecophysiology and ecology. So I would let José Miguel come in, but he's just a bit delayed. So I have the pleasure to introduce Professor Helena Freitas. She is director of the Center of Functional Ecology of Universidade Coimbra and professor, of course, of Universidade Coimbra, between other direction that he has. So please, thank you very much for being here, and I'll let you start.
Thank you, Shisha. Well, good morning to everyone, and thank you very much for this kind invitation to join this initiative, which I think is extremely pertinent, and I feel truly honored to join this tribute to Professor João Santos Pereira. I'm a biologist, and I work. This is going to be very informal because it's I think it's even if the situation deserves really a long list of remarks to sustain this initiative and to support this tribute to Professor Santos Pereira. I guess José Miguel Pereira will do it afterwards. So I will do a very informal kind of tribute to Professor Santos Pereira because I was never his student, in a sense that I was not a student at University of Lisbon in the Institute of Agronomy, but I was one of these young biologists that when we are young and when we want to do a career in science, we start having a lot of dreams. We are full of dreams and good ideas and projects, and we want to do everything at the same time. But it's very important at this stage to have good examples and inspiration and find really those that can inspire our scientific career. And I was lucky to have two outstanding scientists, in my opinion, probably, well, in my opinion, Professor Santos Pereira was certainly the best physiologist we had over the last decades, and he was truly inspirational for me in many senses, as well as Professor Manuela Chaves, and just life joined them, and it was also something fantastic. I always remember when I came from my short postdoc in Stanford in the United States, and I came in the 90s, and I attended one of these meetings of plant physiology in Lisbon, and Professor Santos Pereira never met me before. We were just in the room, and I was listening to all the presentations, and he gave one of these keynotes, and I was very, very impressed by his talk, and I met him, and I told him that I really loved his presentation, and we talked for a while, a short, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 minutes, and after that conversation, he told me, you know, I have one European project that is going to start, and I would like you to join it. And we never met before. And this was a huge challenge when I started my career. And it was the feeling that somehow he noticed that this could be important for me. And it was just because he was the kind of scientist that was truly looking for people and young students that could promote the science that he was really keen to promote, and the science of ecology and physiology, and then of course especially the forest. But in general, he was pushing science in many ways he could do it. So I was lucky to be one of those students that he just captured, and he kept in the constellation of projects and initiatives that he was pushing. And this was really important for me also, because I felt that someone was investing in my career, and someone so special in terms of science. So I never told him really personally that, but he was really so special in my career that I always, in any situation I would always say, well, he was, even though he never was really my professor or even my master in my PhD or any part of my career, he was really, really special because of his scientific outstanding ability. He's a great mind. Is extremely intelligent, and you could feel it in a very important meeting, in a small meeting, in many ways. So the point, as I expect José Miguel to really introduce the Professor Santos Pereira career, was essentially to express my gratitude to Professor Santos Pereira for this outstanding career he had, and he managed really to change somehow the physiological sciences in Portugal, because due to his ability, his skills, and his scientific DNA, let's say, because he's really bright in many ways. And I think he did a lot to change and to push, to promote the science of physiology in Portugal, and of course in the bridge also with ecology, so ecophysiology, well, he was he was the best. He was the best. And and I would like to express my gratitude for everything he has done for me in many ways, and in many ways he never imagined. But it's very important to have people like Professor Santos Pereira and Professor Manuel Chaves really inspiring us when we are starting a scientific career, and when we want to be good enough in our profession, in our duties, accomplishing the best. It's good to have such examples. And well, Professor Santos Pereira, thank you very much for everything you have done to me and helping me, supporting me in many ways and in many stages of my career. And well, and thank you very much also for all you have done, pushing science, inspiring science in Portugal, especially plant sciences, forest sciences, ecology, physiology, all these disciplines that you were certainly the best of us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lena. There is nobody like Lena to put in words what goes in our souls. So thank you once more for being here and doing this. I would now like to introduce José Miguel Pereira. He is also a professor at the Instituto Superior de Agronomia and present director of the Forest Research Center. And I know he's here with short time, so I thank him especially for coming here. So please, José Miguel, when you can, the floor is yours.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for the invitation. Hello, first of all, to João Santos Pereira. How are you? Let me tell you and everybody what a pleasure it is to me to have the opportunity to participate in this session that pays an extremely well-deserved tribute to, I think, certainly one of the most remarkable, if in my opinion, the most remarkable researcher that in Portugal I've had the opportunity to interact with in his domain of activity. I first met João many years ago as his undergraduate student in a couple of courses, where he was always stimulating, asking questions that were not trivial, were not obvious, were not routine, were very, very challenging. And in my case, he stimulated an early interest in several different aspects in ecology. And I must say, many of which, if not most of which, were somewhat against the grain of what was at the time the dominant way at looking at plant ecology at the Instituto Superior de Agronomia. We had very interesting discussions, to the extent that I was able to follow them at the time, on topics like community ecology, succession, and topics that I was interested in. A bit later on, issues related to fire. And so it was always very, very refreshing and very complementary to the more formal academic training. He would communicate knowledge and through many different ways, not just through the formal lectures. Later on, when I became his colleague, I already mentioned this to a couple of people. I very often at the end of the afternoon used to go knock on his office door and chat about all sorts of different topics, not always science, not necessarily always science, but very often interactions with of science with teaching, with education, of science with societal problems. And it was something that I always admired and benefited from the interaction with him on how how easy it was for him to make the bridge between more basic scientific knowledge and transposing that to address, to manage environmental and forest management projects that range from the rapid expansion of eucalypt plantations in the early 1990s, later on to the issues related with climate change, management aspects of cork oak woodlands, of biodiversity in pastures, topics related with fire, around which we co-edited a book after the severe 2003 fires in Portugal. So it was very, I always was inspired by how easy it was for him to bridge this gap between more fundamental research and its applications to these societal issues. And I try to do this in my activity today in a much more narrower field of application. I'm much more focused on fire. I do not have the breadth of scope that he had in the application of his research activity. But I think I'm sure I'm not the only person who was inspired by him also in this way. So not only directly through the leadership of CEF as a research center. João was also key. He was instrumental in bringing not only the center, but I would say ISA in general, up to date with contemporary mode of practicing research and entering international solid research teams, striving for publishing in the best scientific journals and according to the best standards. And I want him to know that the center still feels that inspiration and strives to follow in his steps, and is still very much inspired by his leadership and by the approach and the attitude towards developing research that he communicated most effectively than anyone else, I think, in the history of the Forest Research Center. So for that, in the name of all the current members of the center, I want to thank him, and I want to congratulate him, and again tell him what a pleasure and a honor it is to me to be in the position to participate in this tribute. Thank you very much for everything, João. abraço.
Thank you very much, José Miguel. Next, I want to present Jorge Marques da Silva. He is the president of the Portuguese Society of Plant Biology. He is also a researcher and professor at Faculdade de Ciências from the University of Lisbon. So please, Jorge.
Thank you, Xixão. It is a great pleasure and a great honor to be on this session. The scientific profile of Professor Santos Pereira has already been addressed by Helena and José Luís, but I wish to center on the role that Professor Santos Pereira had on creating a national community of plant physiologists, and he was one of the founders of the Portuguese Society of Plant Physiology, which was founded in 1977. And in fact, shortly after the foundation, our society put forward the first colloquium the first Portuguese colloquium in plant physiology, where Professor Santos Pereira made a communication called tree-water relations that Conceição kindly sent me. And it is interesting to read that communication, which was published 2 years later in 1979 in Agronomia Lusitana, because in introduction, Professor Santos Pereira addresses the problem of the role of forests as possible carbon sinks for the already increasing carbon dioxide on the atmosphere. And reading that introduction, I thought that it could be the introduction of a current paper on climate change, but it was wrote 40 years ago, which shows how advanced he was for the time. Professor Santos Pereira was linked to our society for 38 years. He is still the past president of the General Assembly of the Portuguese Society of Plant Physiology, now Portuguese Society of Plant Biology. And he stepped down only on 2016. So we have a gratitude for all this effort to putting together a community of plant physiologists in Portugal. We are now bringing or carrying the flag he took for 3 decades, and surely we are going to pass the flag to the next generations, like the brilliant young scientists that are present on this symposium. So for all of that, thank you, Professor Santos Pereira.
Thank you very much, Jorge. So we now will pass 2 small videos, one of them with testifying for several people that want to be present, but it's impossible to have all the people that would like to be here to congratulate Professor João Santos Pereira. So we did a short summary of that. So I asked the organization if they can put in the first video.
We can, but the first video is not the one with the testimonies, right?
No, yes, it's the one called Self.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you. Can it be expanded?
O professor João Santos Pereira juntou em si a motivação pela investigação à paixão pela floresta e foi capaz de transformar oportunidades em expansão do conhecimento. Construiu pontes entre os trabalhos de investigação saídos do Instituto Superior de Agronomia e a sociedade em geral. Pautou-se por princípios de rigor metodológico na investigação científica que aliou à sua grande curiosidade científica e experiência que trouxera dos Estados Unidos, onde estivera nos anos 70 a concluir o seu doutoramento. O Centro de Estudos Florestais surgira na mesma altura, no seio do debate nacional sobre o impacto da expansão das plantações do eucalipto no território. Foi um primeiro ensaio de trabalho em equipa e de criação de informação de base científica para responder a necessidades prementes que surgiam tanto na administração pública como no setor privado. Na década de 80, João Santos Pereira dirigiu a sua atenção para um tema que mais de 10 anos depois se transformou numa preocupação à escala global: o aumento da concentração de dióxido de carbono na atmosfera e o seu impacto na fisiologia das árvores e nos ecossistemas florestais. Com a adesão de Portugal à União Europeia, abriam-se novas oportunidades de financiamentos europeus. No Centro de Estudos Florestais, com todas estas iniciativas, foi possível a criação da base de especialização e qualificação de recursos humanos necessários para percorrer estes caminhos de maior investimento que a investigação exige. Resultado do trabalho de uma equipa plural, o Centro de Estudos Florestais não é o sonho de apenas um homem excepcional. É, contudo, visível a sua influência na visão, missão e desenvolvimento do trabalho do Centro. João Santos Pereira conquistou uma posição pioneira, primando pelo rigor científico e pelo privilégio de trabalho em parcerias nacionais e internacionais. Percebendo a importância do trabalho em equipa para estes temas de interesse mundial, privilegiou as parcerias internacionais com o envolvimento do CEF na rede pan-europeia de torres de observação do ciclo de carbono e água. Um projeto que levou João Santos Pereira a desenvolver trabalho na Amazónia. As iniciativas de João Santos Pereira deixaram uma marca fundamental no conhecimento em muitas áreas da ecologia e ecofisiologia florestal. É o caso do trabalho sobre as respostas das plantas e dos ecossistemas aos stresses típicos do clima mediterrâneo, como as temperaturas elevadas e as secas, agora exacerbados pelas alterações climáticas. Publicou mais de 150 trabalhos científicos, vários livros e capítulos de livros. trabalhou em estreita colaboração com diversos investigadores, em particular com a professora Manuela Chaves, investigadora prestigiada do ISA, o que resultou em trabalhos de referência, muito citados na sua área de estudo. João Santos Pereira esteve sempre consciente da importância de comunicar para a sociedade os resultados da investigação científica. Os livros O Futuro da Floresta em Portugal, publicado pela Fundação Francisco Manuel dos Santos, e Incêndios Florestais em Portugal, publicado pelo ISA, refletem essa sua preocupação. Neles transmitiu a visão da importância ecológica, social e económica da floresta e da ligação ancestral do homem aos ecossistemas. Cada obra é uma reflexão sobre o papel único das florestas como mitigadoras das alterações climáticas e sobre a importância da gestão florestal para responder a desafios, como os incêndios florestais. Influenciado pela perspectiva que João Santos Pereira adotava no seu olhar para a floresta, o âmbito do CEF alargou-se, com a expansão da investigação e a aplicação do conhecimento a outras áreas. Hoje, o Centro desenvolve investigação fundamental e aplicada para apoiar a gestão sustentável dos ecossistemas e dos seus serviços num contexto de alterações do clima, do uso da terra e das necessidades da sociedade. O trabalho do CEF varia da escala local à global e abarca uma variedade de ecossistemas como os montados, os matagais mediterrâneos, as plantações de eucalipto e as savanas e florestas tropicais. Graças ao trabalho desenvolvido pelo professor Santos Pereira e por todos os que têm constituído as diferentes equipas de investigação, formação, estudo e trabalho, o CEF existe hoje para entender o passado e conhecer as alterações cada vez mais rápidas e alarmantes do presente, de modo a compreender, antecipar e planear um futuro mais sustentável dos ecossistemas florestais para benefício de toda a sociedade.
Conselheiro Francisca, por favor, pode pôr agora o outro, desculpem, há um segundo vídeo curto, 5 minutos. Este.
Deixou uma marca muito importante, tanto no Instituto como no Deixou uma marca muito importante, tanto no Instituto como no mundo florestal, através tanto ao nível do ensino, por exemplo, ele foi presidente do Conselho Científico durante muitos anos no Instituto Superior de Agronomia e soube incutir uma mudança e uma dinâmica no ensino em geral, mas também no ensino florestal.
O João Santos Pereira foi na área florestal do ISA, mas não só nessa área. A pessoa que mais contribuiu para nos pôr na casa a fazer investigação de qualidade, cientificamente sólida, com relevância prática e em parceria com redes internacionais do mais alto nível.
Ele foi sempre um professor extremamente fácil de comunicação, nunca sofreu da chamada professorite, sempre pudemos ter um diálogo aberto com ele e ele não só se preocupou na área de formação dos investigadores, como na área de formação dos futuros técnicos.
Com ele aprendi a ser justa e honesta na minha profissão, aprendi que é preciso ler e estudar muito, aprendi o gosto por observar a natureza, tanto a folha como a paisagem, a ser exigente e autónoma, nada cai do céu e é preciso muito empenho e persistência na vida.
You yourself have gone on to change the lives of many people who've been lucky enough to know you and work with you. I've been fortunate to be one of those drawn into a school of thinking developed by you and your colleagues in Lisbon.
Na altura em que foi o seu doutoramento e quando chegou ao seu doutoramento, antes do 25 de Abril, constituiu um paradigma de mudança brutal em relação à investigação que se fazia, o que não se fazia em Portugal, quer no campo das ciências florestais, quer no campo das ciências agrárias sensual.
Os bons princípios e a atitude e a atenção que ele teve sempre para comigo marcaram e eu diria mesmo foram fundamentais para o início da minha carreira.
Para uma jovem bióloga, trabalhar com ele nas suas equipas de investigação, com tanta gente que eu conheci através dele, foi decisivo na minha formação e acabou por orientar a minha carreira. Foi sem dúvida o principal responsável pelo entusiasmo que eu sempre tive na dedicação às tarefas de investigação.
Desde o primeiro contacto com o professor João Santos Pereira me apercebi do seu rigor científico, do seu espírito crítico, da sua grande capacidade de síntese do conhecimento científico e, sobretudo, da sua grande preocupação em trazer essa sua bagagem e conhecimento científico para o dia-a-dia, para aqueles que estão no terreno, para os proprietários, para a indústria.
Foi um dos pensadores mais notáveis que eu conheci ao longo da minha vida. Uma capacidade estratégica de visão a longo prazo excepcionais, um conhecimento da ciência e da parte académica extraordinários, que marcaram toda a atuação que o Grupo de Florestas teve no Instituto Superior de Agronomia.
Tu foste para mim uma referência, uma fonte de inspiração científica, transmitiste-me não só o conhecimento científico, como também a importância do rigor, da melhoria contínua, a mais-valia do trabalho em equipa.
Agradeço-lhe o que me ensinou enquanto professor, mas também enquanto amigo, enquanto parceiro de profissão, quando com ele fui ter por diversas vezes para clarificar, esclarecer, compreender melhor o que se passava na floresta e no contexto das instituições que administram o tema.
Quero registrar que se trata de um homem que se rege pelo rigor e pela seriedade, o que lhe tem um grande legado, um grande respeito, quer nos meios científicos, quer mesmo até em meios políticos, e que teve a preocupação de ir escrevendo a sua obra e com isso nos entrega uma herança de grande valia.
Portugal e tanto quanto obrigada por estarem a assistir. Agora, sorry, now I have to change English. Now I would like, with the president of the Portuguese Society of Biology, to deliver two symbolic awards for an outstanding research career. I'm just going to share my screen. This is a new way of delivering. Let me, sorry, just put over here of delivering some prizes. So this is the career awards that Jorge, together with me, we will deliver. So I hope that as soon as the COVID-19 situation is clear, João Pereira and Manuel Chaves will invite me for dinner, and perhaps Jorge also, so we can deliver them these awards in person, these prizes. They really didn't promise this dinner, but we had to try it in front of so many people. I'm sure now you really will have to invite us for dinner to deliver these awards. We have a tree, a sculpture by the artist Pedro Fazenda, made with stone and cork. He is a sculptor from Évora, and a medal from the Portuguese Society of Plant Biology, still as a plant physiology, that would like you to give in person. So thank you once more, Professor João Santos Pereira. I don't know if you want to give some words now.
Of course. Can I speak?
Yes, you can. We are hearing you.
It is also emotional to hear such things, such commentaries that made to my career. I just thought to do the best, and I think that this symposium that we have today and yesterday, we are a good example of the quality that we reach, and that is the effort not of myself, but the large amount of people that collaborated with me, some of whom are not here, but anyhow, it was in most cases a pleasure to hear that we have live the good example, what is needed in our society. Of course, the career, what was done was shaped lately by the climate change, but as someone already reminded, the basic science is there to guide us and guide our efforts to understand the world. Thank you very much. I'm emotional about your contribution, and I hope that we will meet soon as the virus that has embedded us living the normal life will be away, or at least in a secure position for us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor João Santos Pereira, by your words. I think we are all very thankful for all the legacy and still the very interesting discussions that we have with you. So thanks once more. I'm very sorry that we are not all together so we can applaud, but I will applaud anyway to you. And thanks for all people that were here giving this recognition to your career and to the legacy that you left us. Thanks to everybody. We'll go now for a break, and we'll follow up with our symposium, another legacy that you left us, and that I hope you will be, I know that you have been accompanying also the talks, and I hope you'll stay with us within this symposium for the rest of the day until tomorrow. Thank you, everybody. George, I don't know if you want to finish up.
Okay, just to say again that it was a pleasure to be on the session and an honor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.
Obrigada, Helena.
Obrigada, Xixão, também. Obrigada a todos. Obrigada, professor Santos Pereira, por tudo também que fez por mim.
Okay, can we stop the YouTube?
Obrigada, Xixão. Então, foi muito emocionante também. Desculpa, não tinha isto preparado em nada em inglês, em coisa nenhuma, mas pronto.
Não,
uma coisa mais...
como sempre, muito bem.
Não, mas emocionou-me muito, sério, é mesmo. E também, não mencionei, mas a oportunidade de conhecer nesta convergência entre mim, tu e ele,
Igualmente.
foi também um gosto muito grande para mim.
Também. Tá, adeus. Ok. Posso sair da sessão? Podemos acabar a sessão? Ok.